Since 1977, Rusty Brown has been producing jewelry that has much more meaning than just equestrian-themed jewelry. It's designed by farriers who live and breathe horses, lovingly referred to as the blue-collar jeweler because every piece is proudly made here in the United States of America by the hands of retired Marines. Stop by and visit our booth, or check us out online at rustybrownjewelry.com.
That's right, everybody. Rusty Brown Jewelry is a sponsor of Forge and Brains podcast. So now you can go to their website and use code BRAINS, 20% off. And up until Black Friday, they're having a 25% off sale. So after Black Friday, you can use that code BRAINS at checkout to get yourself 20% off. They are made in the USA, designed by farriers that we all know, and then made by retired Marines. With Christmas right around the corner, it's a perfect time to get yourself a gift or your significant other a gift with some special jewelry that's designed by farriers. So go to rustybrownjewelry.com, use code BRAINS, save yourself a little money, and I hope you guys have a good holiday season.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Forging Brains podcast. I'm your host, Riley Kirkpatrick. Got my co-host with me, Gavin Cooper. And we're here at the AFA convention in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And today we got a team, it's a husband and wife team, and they got a multi-farrier practice here in Tennessee, right? We got Lyle and Kayla Shepherd with us today. Thanks for joining us, you guys. I know it's a busy event, so
Thanks for having us.
it's kind of hard to slide out of it. We'll go with ladies first. And Kayla, how about you tell us a little bit how you got into horses and into horseshoeing?
Okay. I grew up in Indiana, and I had a bunch of horses. I was a crazy barrel racer. Couldn't get a good farrier out.
Of course,
Yep.
none of you
Yep,
can.
none of us came. Yep. So I decided to sell some horses to go to shoeing school, just to shoe my own.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 21,
Okay.
and I actually ended up really liking it. So after I got out of school, I started trimming and shoeing for the public in Indiana, and then I ended up moving to Tennessee not long after. I followed one of my clients down there.
Oh, really?
And that's-
Followed a client?
I did. That's my Clydesdale stop.
Oh,
So
okay.
they couldn't get anybody when they moved to Tennessee. So I just started traveling every 5 weeks. I'd go down there,
Okay.
trim their horses, come back. I threw out a number. I didn't think they'd take it. They did.
Yeah.
And I liked the area.
How
So
many
that's
Clydesdales did they have?
13.
So it kind of makes it a little bit worth it then.
Is that the Clydesdales that you still?
Yep, those were the ones that come to the classic.
Okay.
Hunt. Yep.
Yeah.
So then after that, I started apprenticing for John Schmidt, and that kind of just solidified the move. And that's why I ended up in Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
What horseshoeing school did you go to?
I went to Troy Price Horseshoeing School
Did
in
you?
Indiana.
Nice.
Yep.
What about you, Lyle?
Well, I was stuck between. Well, I started out thinking I wanted to do the whole lawn care business, but I realized when I started cutting grass for my granddad that I really hated it and I was allergic to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that didn't work out so well, and I hated school. I wasn't good at it. You know, I just barely.
You
I
and me
could
both,
be
man.
good at it, but I didn't want to be good at it. So I decided. At the same time, I was coming over to, of course, cut grass for my granddad on the weekends, and I started helping him shoe horses. And then after that, I was like, well, I can make a lot more in a day anyway, and yeah, that's kind of how I did it.
You just kept on riding. So for the people who don't know, who's your grandpa?
Billy Lewis, yeah, Billy Lewis is my granddad.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Sure is.
About right on track.
Gavin's learning all types of things this weekend. He learned that there's Indians other places besides the West Coast.
I may not be the smartest cookie, all right?
So did you just start riding with your grandpa then?
Yeah. Well, so during school, obviously I couldn't ride with him then, but I was.
How old were you when you started?
I was after school, I'd go over there and practice a little bit. So I would say my junior year, I think.
Okay.
I went to my first competition, I think, when might have been a senior, so 2016.
Okay.
I think that's right. But anyway, that was when I kind of got, and I was just doing contests. Like I'd go to the contests and I'd do really well in the forging, but I'd get to the foot and I just couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't able to get under the horses. You know, every once in a while he'd have some come to the house, but that was really the only.
So when he started you out, did he pretty much started you out in the fire?
Oh yeah. I was building a lot of the shoes, because he built all the shoes for his horses. We didn't really use any keg shoes unless we got a new horse on the books, and he didn't have any. So I would go home, we would build shoes for the upcoming week, and then
Well, that's pretty cool.
that was how I did it. And then,
He never really pressured it on you, though, huh?
oh, well, he definitely wanted me to, yeah.
Yeah.
Pressure's not the right word. He wanted me to just because I think he saw how handy I could be with it. No, I mean, I'm not that handy, but
So he's probably seen people struggle at it throughout the years,
yeah,
and it seemed like, oh,
I picked it up quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. And so, what direction did you go to try to be like? So after you got out of high school, is that when you started trying to figure out how to shoe horses? Then, like not just sports shoes.
So whenever I was in high school, I had 2 different jobs. I worked in a saddle shop, and I really did enjoy that. And I also worked in a restaurant. So that solidified I'd never want to work in a restaurant again.
What'd you do in the restaurant?
Wash dishes.
Dude,
Yeah.
fucking me too.
Yeah, it's awful. It is. Humans are disgusting.
Oh my god! I worked at an Olive Garden for a solid month.
It's awful.
And I waited till I hated the managers so bad. It's like this is gonna sound like a dick move, but it was too. And like I waited till the dishes were so stacked. It's the whole thing. I'm like, I quit. I'm going home. I don't have fun with this, man. You're gonna see what it's like.
It was rough. But yeah, after
Oh, it teaches you like I don't want to work around people.
no,
Like,
no,
people
they're
are
disgusting, and they never finish their food.
awful.
Yeah.
No, so after that, yeah, whenever I graduated, I was for sure not going to college, and my granddad's like, well, if you don't want to go to college, and I need the help, so I started riding with him 5 days a week.
Did you go to college, Kayla?
I did not.
Okay, I didn't know if either you said you're 21.
So I was driving forklift before that.
Really?
Yes, that's what I did for. So after I graduated, I drove forklift up until I went to shoeing school.
And what kind of stuff were you doing? Like just like a
I worked for
warehouse?
Ford. Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
Just
Oh,
driving.
wow.
moving
Moving things
exhaust
around.
systems. Yeah,
So it's the same thing every day then.
every day, 7 days a week, 12-hour days.
Wow.
And that got old pretty quick too.
But did you think there's anything you learned? And like this would be a question for both of you guys. Anything you learned from your like even your short working career that you now use in this career?
Yes, I'm always on time. It bothers me. In the mornings, I want to leave at a certain time. I'm expected to be at the first stop early. That's just I'm wired that way now.
That's
I
why
do
you
not
beat
like
us
being
here to
late.
the lounge room.
Yep, I don't like being late.
What about you? You're
Oh.
late. All right. I'm just like
Yes.
sensing. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, you're late. You're
Like, we gotta go right
saying it,
now.
like,
But I will stay further and longer than anybody else. I will work until 3 a.m. if I have to. Like I'm polar opposite, but I think I did pick up the whole being irreplaceable thing. Like I made sure wherever I went, like the people, the restaurant I work for, every time I go in there, because it's a little hometown restaurant, they know me, they've seen me grow up basically. But every time I go in there, you need a job. They'll ask me if I still want to work there. I'm like, no.
No thanks.
You're that good, or no one wants to wash dishes.
Probably.
Still looking for a dishwasher, man.
Yeah, yeah. And then the saddle shop was the same way. Like that guy, he lives in Fairhope, and I'll talk to him every now and then. He's like, "You ready to build saddles again?" It's like, maybe when I can't shoe horses anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Fairhope, Alabama?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And especially in a saddle shop, it seems like that's a service business.
Mhm.
Like I'm sure you learned some things there of like how to make people happy and customer service just in general.
He's one of the best I know. I mean, he's not very well known, I would say, but we built trooper saddles.
What's that?
It's it was a military style saddle back in. It's what the cavalry used whenever they were out.
Okay.
And nowadays they're used, and everything he builds is for like field trial.
Okay.
So he does several saddles a year. It's hand tooled and really nice saddles and stuff like that.
That's sweet. And so, how did you two meet?
Oh
Well,
Tinder?
well, so no. So the first time I saw her was in
2017.
it was Shelbyville. Whenever it was a Nigel
It was
clinic.
Nigel Clinic.
Nigel Fennel Clinic was there, and I saw her, and I didn't have the guts to say anything to her. So a year later, we were at Daniel's place for a certification. I asked her if she wanted a beer.
Yeah.
I was real nervous before Journeyman go. He's like, "Do you want a beer?" Yes, I do.
before
before
you
the
go.
Before the go.
Knock off the nerves a little bit.
You're like, this is my type of dude.
This is good.
It was a Miller High Life too, so champagne, you know.
Did you guys end up, because you weren't from Tennessee? And
I was
so,
from
like,
Alabama.
Oh, but it wasn't like, were you living in Tennessee at that
I was
time?
living in Tennessee. Yep.
And so it wasn't like you guys were living close to each other. So were you just bumping into each other at horseshoe events?
Yep. Yep.
Well, I didn't notice him for a full year because he wouldn't talk to me. So.
But after that, you just started hanging out, huh?
We had a contest in Tennessee not long after that, and he had asked me to take some pictures for him during his go. So I did, and that was kind of his way that he was going to try and get my number. But I just went ahead and sent him on Messenger. I was like, "Hey, you got your pictures?"
Swinging and miss.
But then after that, actually a horse broke my hand the week after that clinic. So he asked if I was all right, if I needed any help with some horses. He'd come up on the weekends and help me shoe my horses. So that's kind of how that got started.
We ended up going out to Dusty's and passing our journeyman at the same
Same
time.
day. Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty dang cool.
Mm-hmm.
So now you guys are pretty much a couple, right? Like at this point in your timeline. How did you decide where you guys were going to move? Like whether you're going to be in Alabama or Tennessee?
Well, I was getting ready to go on the exchange. It was 2019. And Lyle, last minute, just decided, while you're gone, I'm going to come up and shoe all your horses for you so you don't lose anything. About 2 weeks before I left. I had already scheduled my horses with different farriers. I wasn't sure how it was going to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll just come up and do them all." So he came up and stayed and did all my horses while I was on the exchange.
That's a big load off the.
Yeah, and a lot of these people had never even met him. They didn't know we were together. I was getting phone calls. "Hey, this guy came out and it was terrible."
He was late. He showed up late.
He wasn't nice to my horse, and getting all kinds of messages, Cause,
That's funny.
so that was fun. When I got back, I'd show up and he's still with me.
Oh, shit. How did you manage to take care of all your horses too, though, Lyle?
I didn't have any really. I had there for probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months tops. Whenever she had come back, I was going back and forth shoeing them. And whenever she came back, we pretty much settled on Tennessee. Like, I like the area up there, and it was really good business. Like, the amount of horses that are in Middle Tennessee is absurd.
Really?
I think it's very underrated as far. I'm sure there's a lot more in California, a lot more in Texas, and a lot more in Florida, but I would have to say, really close to them.
Yeah.
So the business opportunity of it was
Made sense.
basically undeniable.
Yeah.
It just worked
So
out.
in your guys' business now, it doesn't look too much different of like you guys run a multi-farrier practice pretty much now, correct?
Yep.
So what does your guys' practice look like then?
Well, on Mondays, we'll run 2 rigs. We have a trailer and then a shoe and body. Lyle will take one, I'll take another. I'll usually take Alec, he'll take Abby, and we go get 2 days worth of work done in one day. Tuesdays, we have Sam Sellers with us. We get quite a bit done that day. And then it's just me and him on Wednesdays. Thursdays, I take off to fox hunt, and usually by Friday, he's going to Adam Farr's to practice. So we kind of have a 3-day-a-week
Oh, really?
business going. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's not like, even though it's only 3 days, it
we're
sounds
getting
like,
a lot done.
yeah, like how, on average, how many horses do you think you do in a week?
About 125.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Still quite a bit in 3
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
I love them. And your guys' apprentices, even, it's not even really like they're fully apprentices. So you have helpers. pretty
Yeah.
much.
At every stage, yeah.
They are, like, Abby and Alec are both have been farriers for quite a while now.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever met Sam. I may have.
Sam
since-
Sellers,
Yeah. How long has Sam been shoeing for?
3 years now.
2-3 years, yeah.
Okay.
He's certified, working on journeyman stuff. He was on the apprentice team.
Okay.
Worked with Philip Box and Andrew Wells.
Yeah.
Really good help.
Man.
Yeah.
So it's not like you guys are spending a lot of the day trying to teach them or watching over their
Right.
shoulder.
Right.
So how do you guys, like, I'm so used to the apprentice setup, you know what I mean? Where they're pulling with finishing, they're standing there watching. stuff like that. How does your guys' look like? What are they doing throughout the day?
It really just depends on who it is
Okay.
and what they feel comfortable with.
This episode is brought to you by Yukon Forge. John McNerney over at Yukon Forge is stepping up his game by trying to innovate the farrier business by incorporating new tools that are either for the working man or just a hobbyist or the guy that's going and competing as well. So he's got a whole new lineup of different tools. He's got the new driving hammer, the 14-ounce Scottish-style thistle, which is actually pretty sick, so you can get that on his website now. He's got tongs, hoof knives, any size hammer that you want. 1 3/4, 2 pound, 2.5 pound, 2 1/4 pound, you name it. John McNerney at Yukon Forge has it. Go to his website, check it out, use code BRAINS, and you can get 10% off anything that you order on his website. So we appreciate John for sponsoring the show, and go check him out and get yourself some cool tools.
Alec does a lot of back feet for us, trimming, shaping, nailing, and then of course we're there watching, putting pads on, clenching feet, setting up.
Nice.
He does quite a bit. And Abby does just as much. She doesn't shape shoes as much. We're getting into that now. We're working on certified stuff. And Sam will build shoes for us. Sam will do whatever we ask him to. He's doing really good.
And is that something that you guys kind of have as a requirement to be working with you guys? So they need to be working towards a goal or like a certification or something?
That's not really a requirement, but we definitely push it.
Yeah. It's more or less.
I want them to do good.
The main thing is we don't want to slow down, right? We got to have this amount of horses done, and it needs to happen.
Yeah.
So we don't like to leave a gap where they can not fill it, if that makes sense. Like we want to be
Always
rolling.
working.
Yeah.
It's a very efficient system.
Yeah.
And then when we get back, if they want to forge, they're always welcome to forge.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
No, it sounds like a good environment to
Yeah.
kind of race them. What kind of horses are you guys doing?
A lot of everything.
Everything.
Really?
Yes. Mostly English disciplines. We do a lot of fox hunters, a lot of 3-day eventers. I'd say that's probably a majority of our books.
I don't know. We
We do some Western pleasure horses too, but
I'd say right now it's probably half and half. Though,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, we do several Western pleasure barns,
Really?
and
Is
that just
there-
kind of happened. I don't know how that happened, but
Is there ever a time where you guys get an account you may really love working on them, but Lyle really hates working on them?
Absolutely.
And you guys have to try to make the decision of getting rid of somebody?
yeah, sometimes. Or I'll just schedule it to where I'll go there and he'll go somewhere else on Monday.
Yeah. So you guys just kind of work around
It just
that?
kind of depends on the situation.
Yeah.
It's usually the people more than the horses.
Oh,
She makes most of those calls. The only decisions I make are what the horse itself needs.
I'll write him out a list of where he's going, give it to him, gets in the truck and goes.
It's kind of nice and easy.
Yeah.
Timeline there, where he needs to be. Yep.
he ain't following with that.
No, I'll get text, where's Lyle? And I'll look on my phone and I'm like, well, he's still at this stop. And then I'll text him, he should be there soon.
Yeah, I'm bad enough. For one, I don't like to text. I'm not a texter. I just assume call and talk to you. So
Me and you would never talk then. man.
probably,
No, I only text. And
I'm
our
a
clients
texter
are kind
now,
of trained
too.
that way too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
so I have my biggest issue is whenever I'm leaving, like 20 minutes before I'm leaving one stop, I'm supposed to message that I'm going to be there. And I always forget, like I started driving 10 minutes and I haven't texted them. And they're like,
I always
oh,
text
you're
them
early.
before, 'cause, like when I get there, I want the horses up. I want them ready. And they're trained that way. So if they get that text, that horse better be up and ready. So when we roll in there, we're not waiting.
Yeah.
And then Lyle won't text, and then he'll show up, and they get real panicked. I didn't know he was coming. He's here.
It's so funny though how much different we all like. Like it's like if I show up in the horse and then it's I'm like, oh Jesus, I'm like in a rush now. Like I'm
the
so
opposite.
Like, I'm so I'm like, oh yeah, you want to do something wrong? I sharpen my knives, kind of hang out for a little bit. Like let me get ready to talk to you.
Yep.
I'm not yet. And you guys still do those Clydesdales, obviously. Is that a stuff you guys do together then?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What type of work do those horses do?
They do parades, just local stuff. They don't really show them a whole lot anymore. They just
They kind of eat.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Practice
got
horses?
So you said they use them for the classic. Do you guys have to pull those roadsters off afterwards, or can they keep
They
wearing
have the ag heels on, but yeah, we do
Yeah.
pull them off.
or the
that
ag
way.
heels? In
Yeah,
there?
about 5 weeks we go out and pull them off.
If
Oh,
they
okay.
haven't already lost.
So you don't have to immediately pull them
No, they stay on.
right then. Oh,
He
nice.
likes them.
Oh really?
He thinks they're cool.
That's pretty cool. Then.
Sometimes we'll cut the heels off and then reset them. We've had a lot of prolapse issues if they stay on in a wet environment. But
Really?
yes.
The frog will fall right through.
No kidding.
Yep.
And then something, because I had 5 head that I shot in ag heels for about 4 years straight. Those horses lived in ag heels. But they were Shires.
Yeah, I think if they had better feet,
They're a very
probably hold
tight-footed
up
horse,
to it.
like a
Yeah,
tight-footed draft horse.
You've
Clyde's-
seen their feet; they're not the best.
Clydesdales are like the thoroughbreds of big horses.
They're flat-footed.
They're trash.
They're flat-footed.
So what do you have to
That
do
is
for them
interesting.
after the frog's prolapse? Like, do you got to build big
They're
ass-
sore for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, put them back on the ground.
Pull the shoes.
Let 'em
But
go.
like I said, most of the time they just lose the shoes because y'all worked on them. Like they have the big quarter cracks
Yeah.
and
False
people
forwards.
have such hard time pitching the nails enough to get high ones. So they're not in good foot to begin with. Like
No.
Yeah.
No, and man, it's like you want to watch a horse's leg do some crazy things. Like watch a draft book come into the ground with ag heels.
yeah,
Yes,
It's
it's crazy.
it is
Especially
super
the back
crazy.
legs.
Yeah, that those ones that I used to shoot. If it was dark enough, like you'd watch the rocks sparking and breaking on the ground.
Yep.
Those horses
No kidding.
trotting across it is pretty impressive. How like hard the grounds get hit by those things.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
And so yeah, you guys bring all pretty much 2 days worth of horses for us at
Yep.
the Classic.
Yep.
So those are the little cob horses. Are yours.
Top horses are mine. Yep.
And so, how did you go from barrel racing to cobs?
Okay, so by the time I started shoeing, I loved that a whole lot more. I quit racing, sold all the horses, just went right into certification, competition, shoeing. And then when I went on the exchange, I shot a lot of cobs while I was there.
Yep.
And I just loved their feet. So pretty,
Yeah.
great personality, good horses. So then when I came back, I wanted to get one. I didn't realize how expensive they were. So I took out a loan to buy my first one.
Really?
Yes, sure did. And then I bred her.
Wait, how does this even look when you go into the bank? Like,
I just took a personal loan. I didn't tell
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell them what I was doing.
They didn't really want to give it to us.
No, they did not want to give it to us.
That is such like what a step into it. Like,
Yeah.
I want this
Yeah.
so bad. I'm gonna get a loan for it.
Yep. So then I bred her, sold that first foal, paid off the loan with that full money, and it kind of just grew that way. Now I have a whole herd.
It's just as much business as the.
Yeah, I look at it like a business. They pay for themselves.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yep.
So it's because how many do you have now?
I have 13.
No
Holy
freaking
cow.
way.
Yep.
How many animals total are on your guys' place?
We're downsizing right now, so we have 3 more horses that are leaving. We're down to 4 cows, and we have 5 dogs.
We bred Dalmatians as
Yeah.
well. That was
Oh,
another
that's right.
business we had.
And that went really good until the economy tanked. So we're not breeding right now currently with the dogs.
The dogs.
Yeah.
The horses still sell.
Horses are still selling. Horses are still going good.
And do you, at least like in my part, that's a dog you don't see anymore.
Right. I have people all over the country buying them
Really?
because they're just not that common.
The last litter I think we sold in
It-
6 states, was it? I think it was 6 states.
Really going through shippers and stuff, trying
Yeah.
to get them to people.
Yep.
And is it because, like, I know it's like dog talk all of a sudden, but it's like, because aren't they kind of bitey?
No.
Like, you always hear about Dalmatians. I got one client that's done, like, their dog is always muzzled. So I always assume, like,
Really?
that must be a bitey little bastard.
A lot of it had to do with the inbreeding that was
Okay.
done a long time ago.
Blows their mind.
Yeah. And they also had a lot of urinary tract problems. They actually, what was
It's a
the,
random problem.
It's because of the inbreeding in the 70s. After 101 Dalmatians come out, people started breeding them like crazy. So they actually started breeding them to German Shorthairs.
that's what it was, yeah.
And that's how they
Like
fixed the problem. It fixed the attitude problem.
They have, it's called high uric acid.
Huh.
And it,
Do they get cancer now, though?
Yeah.
Like German Shorthairs too?
well, I mean, they might. It also fixed their hearing problem. Like a lot of them were born deaf or will go deaf.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't say fix it. It helped it. A lot of them
That's
still
super
are.
interesting. Yeah, I had no idea. I've had German Shorthairs, but I had no idea that's what they kind of crossed into to clean
Yep,
up the
that's
dogs a little
what
bit.
fixed the mess. And now AKC won't register them. They'll look at the COI, see how their breeding is, and if they're too closely related, the litter won't even be registered.
it's pretty neat how they did all that.
So how do you go about then so is your breeding program all in-house then? Like your stud dog and your female dog you own?
Yep.
And you just made sure to buy 2 dogs that were
Yep.
far enough apart that you can keep on rolling with them.
Yep.
So it's super interesting to me how much, obviously, no offense, Lyle, you're kind of hanging out. Kayla is doing, you just kind of have a business mindset, it seems like. You
Yeah.
very quickly turn a hobby.
Yep. I want it to make money, or I'm not going to have anything to do with it, really.
No, I kind of end up doing that same things to a lot of my life. And
Yep.
so does it keep it enjoyable
Yeah, it does.
sometimes?
Yeah. I'm always busy. I've never been bored, so yeah.
Probably makes you
staying
feel
busy.
like you got like a stake in it, right?
Yeah.
That's the hard part for me sometimes, though, is just all of a sudden you get to a point and you're like, whoa, this was fun at one time.
This is a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you get back to it being fun?
Riding has helped.
Fox hunting.
The horses got to be a lot for me, and I started riding again. And that has really helped the last 2 years. That I do like this. I do want to do this.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into fox hunting from barrel racing then?
Well, I like the hills in Tennessee. I like the trail riding, and all my clients that we fox hunt for are like, you need to come out. It's a lot of fun. You'd really like it. It's like trail riding on crack. You're running through the woods, chasing fox, drinking. I'm like, oh, that does sound kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I went out there and I loved it. It was a very welcoming environment. People are great.
So for people that don't know what fox hunting is, what does the day of a fox hunt look like?
So we run our dogs in couples, and that would be, so they might say we have 14 couples out, so that would be 28 dogs.
And are they actually tethered?
No, they're not.
They're just running them in pairs.
Running in pairs. Yep. So then we'll take the dogs out. It's a bunch of mixed breeds of hounds.
Yeah, foxhounds.
Yep.
Yeah, running
Yep.
dogs.
And we have 4 flights. And
4 flights.
there's different levels for the fox hunters. The first flights, you're going to jump all the coops. You're going to be keeping up with the hounds. You're running pretty hard. Second flight, jumps are optional. You're still moving at a pretty good pace. Third flight, a lot of walk trot. Fourth flight, you're behind everything.
Just difficulty levels.
Yeah, difficulty levels. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So they'll sound the horn, the hounds will go. And then depending on the scent, it just depends on how the hunt's going to go. If they catch a deer, it's not a good hunt. You're going to be doing a lot of running.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Are these fox planted?
No. Everything's wild.
Really? And is this on a chunk of private,
Yes.
or is
It's
it
a bunch of different privately owned properties.
that all are okay with
Yes.
running
Yep.
the dogs and
Yep.
horses?
And it's
here?
mostly coyote hunting in Tennessee. There's a few fox, but it's generally coyotes.
It's for people that don't know, I do hound hunting and trapping, and it's a big thing in the trapping world of live catch and selling them to fox places. Like that is a very, very common thing in the trapping world of guys having a whole dog box full of coyotes that they're going to sell to a club. That's why I asked if it was kind of if they're letting the fox go to make sure the dogs were just all.
They don't usually make it. The dogs will chew them up before they get.
The coyotes, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Armadillos.
I've seen one stretched out. It's
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah.
The fox. That is interesting though that a fox will stay going in a place that's not too brushy, that you can actually get with the horses.
Mm-hmm.
But does it sometimes turn into where you're like all of a sudden you're not getting to do the foxes tree? They den?
They can. A lot of times, if there is a fox, we'll chase them to a certain point, and then we'll call the dogs off.
Okay.
Because we don't really want the fox. They don't care about the coyotes. They don't care about the armadillos, but we want to keep the fox population up. So
Yeah.
we try to call the dogs off the foxes. There's not many left in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's coyotes.
Yeah, coyotes are the problem.
Yeah, they kill them.
Yep.
And it is like a very interesting thing though from like a dog training perspective. Like that is the last thing you ever do to a good dog is call them off.
Mhm.
The thing you want them to be on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so it's very interesting those dogs chase a fox again.
Yeah, and they will. They sure will.
That is impressive. Impressive. So how many people do you think are in that? Because it seems like it's a big world. Like,
Mhm.
we don't have any of it. That's why I asked, is the club itself pretty big?
Our club is pretty big. So there's 2 clubs in Middle Tennessee. I hunt with the Mel's Foxhounds, and there's also Hillsboro Foxhounds, which is one of the oldest hunt clubs in the country.
Okay.
It's more prestigious, a bit more expensive to join.
Yeah.
So I'm in Mel's.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of where I fit
with
in.
the normal people.
Yeah.
we're drinking buckskins
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
champagne.
yeah.
Since day one, we've had the great sponsor of Farrier Box. And something that's really cool is, I don't know if they like read our minds or not, but this last month's box was pretty dang cool. Came with a brand new Salcedo hoof knife, some tool ruse, some buffing compound, and a cotton wheel, and basically sets you up just to go straight to trimming feet and knifing them out. So amongst some other things, and then if you guys want to get on the program, go to farrierbox.com, use code brains, and get 25% off your first month's box. Like, you won't be disappointed with all these tools that you get. So sign up, do something cool.
That's good. And so both of you guys are pretty into the certification world, and it seems like in the competition world, we see you guys around at a lot of events and everything like that. Is that something that you guys like to do together as practice?
She rides horses, I compete.
Yeah.
I don't ride horses at all, so.
After I broke my hand, heavy forging really hurts.
Okay.
It just gets aggravated. It's aggravated this week just
Yeah.
from doing that grip test in there. Did it twice and my hand's already aggravated.
Oh, really?
So I kind of got to be careful. I will strike for a while. I'll build some shoes, but I don't compete like I used to.
Yeah.
Is it your hammer hand or tall
It's my hammer hand.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Just all the concussion is going to drive it insane. Lyle, how much do you try competing in a year then, since you're so busy?
Oh, well, this year I'm going for the Cat 2, so I've made every WCB so far. And then I used to do a lot of the state contests, but it's kind of hard to fit that in with the lifestyle we live, having so many horses and animals.
Yeah, it's like you got to make a choice. Either you want to go to WCB ones or you want to go to all the state ones.
And then it's kind of,
It's hard to jump them all both together.
Kayla has to stay home a lot just because finding somebody that can stay the entire duration of when we're gone and be capable of taking care of that many head of horses. It's a lot to ask of anybody, period, and most people can't do it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's like you got to have trust in the people taking care of your animals.
Very, very hard. So you're going after the Cat 2 this year. How has it been going so far? And what are some of the struggles you've maybe bumped into?
Definitely, for me personally, I cannot stand heat. I don't do well in the heat. So practicing for...
Doesn't it get hot as shit in Tennessee?
It's awful. I don't do well.
You're like, I just don't work all summer. Pretty much. I'm in a pool.
If I don't have to. But yeah, I mean, right now I think I want to say I'm in the second hole,
Okay.
but I'm not sure on that. I won second at the last Greensboro,
Nice.
and then 2 prior I've won the best shot foot both times. So my goal was to get every bucket this year, but I came up a little. I still won the live shoeing, but I didn't get the best shot foot.
Yeah.
Pride a little bit.
Oh, darn. I don't even have a single bucket on my shelf, bro.
But yeah, I would say so far it's pretty good. And Adam's been pretty good to me. He's kind of coached me along the way. You know.
So, like, obviously, you went from a time of, like, when you first competed that you said you couldn't shoe a horse, and now you're trying to win the best shot foot bucket every single time. What were the problems you were having shoeing horses, and how did you get to now? Like,
I
just
think
fucking numbers?
the main thing was my granddad I was still pretty novice whenever I was working with him, so I was limited on what I could do. You know? And he had a very established business, and crippling his horses is not good.
Yeah.
You know, so I was a little bit limited on what I could do with him, and then when she left for England, I was under every single horse, trimming every single foot. So I got the stamina part of it down. Because that was the other thing. I'd get so burned out on the foot before I could even get to the shoemaking in order to make it fit. Like it was just a cluster before I even could get done.
Well, I think that's something people don't think about very much is like their fitness for certification. It's something I was just thinking about the other day. Like you hear people talk about the book work, about the forge work, and everything. It's like they never talk about I'm going to eat right and try to be healthy enough going into it so I can actually think about the process.
That was one of the biggest. You asked about the WCB. That's one of the biggest hurdles for me right now. Like whenever I was in Madison. Was it last year? Last year I got gassed.
Yeah.
I could have done a lot better if I hadn't got gassed.
Yeah.
So that was one thing I started to really work on, especially on vice. Like I had to file, and I hate it. I hate running.
I don't think anybody likes hot rasping.
So I would go run, and I would just try to get the heartbeat there.
Yeah, yeah. And did you change, like, for a lot of people too, is diet, man? Like, is there any, like,
I've
you guys
tried.
already eat pretty healthy, or is it something you got to change? And, like,
No,
especially because the horse roofers that are really busy a lot, it's like, man, gas stations and fast food end up
yeah.
taking over your life.
Absolutely. I don't really eat super unhealthy. I don't think. I've just recently tried to adopt the carnivore thing.
Yeah, just something.
Not like a strict carnivore, but stay a little more focused on the proteins than anything. And I was doing the thing with Rachel Turka, first form.
Yeah,
form.
75 hard deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those type of deals. So you're running. How long have you been running for then?
Well, I haven't lately.
Okay.
So I'm back to square one again.
Yeah, dude, because it's quick how fast it, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't hold on.
And for me,
Fitness is something that's like, man, rinse do every day on that damn thing. Right?
yeah, getting in a routine for me is like nearly impossible. I don't like to. I get bored with routines. Even shoeing, if I'm doing the same horses over and over and over, I'm like, okay, let's switch it up. So you come do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I like a little bit. So when I go to the gym, I'll usually run. I would run 20 minutes on the treadmill just to get the heartbeat up, and then I would go do a workout.
Yeah.
I was lifting weights just as much as running.
Yeah.
And that wasn't much. So don't get me wrong. I'm not.
No, it's anything. I bought a $50 treadmill. That's what I run on. You know, it's just like try to keep my lungs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's what it is, because it is. People don't see that, and like I truly think that's one thing that's about Troy. Why he's so stinking good is that he's done with the class and he's not tired.
Yeah.
He's so in shape. You know what I mean? It's like Troy's out there running down a dirt road like Forrest Gump, trying to like be in shape. So it shows, you know, like when guys are in shape, well, they're thinking, and they're not lost in the whole entire process.
Yep. It's awful because whenever you're in the heat of the go and you've got you a really nice shoe coming along, and then you get to the rasp and you've already got gas.
Oh man, I have been there before where you're like, you almost feel like you're drowning, but you can see the shore.
Yeah.
And you're like, because you're sitting there and you're rasping, you're like, I can see the clock is ticking away on me, and I'm about to be done. I just can't move any faster. Like I just got to die here. I guess like, this is what it is. Like,
It's terrible.
oh, it is one of the worst feelings where you're like, okay, one more push, one more push. Like,
Stand up and look at it like it's not going anywhere.
I tell people all the time, like, I can tell right away when somebody's either tired or they don't know what they're gonna do next. And they're like,
Yep.
do that, or they just start flattening. It's like the shoe doesn't even need flattening anymore. They're like, I'm just gonna do a flattening. Like,
Keep hitting it.
They're kind of easy, and I don't have to think. Like, so I'm just gonna do a little quick run on this bad boy, get it squished out.
Yeah.
When you guys first started, like deciding you're going to do like the Multi-Farrier deal, you moved together. How long did it take? So you guys probably went working together for a while, right? How did you go about getting more horses and to the point where, okay, now we're going to dive off and Lyle's going to go here, Kayla's going to go here? How long did that kind of take for you guys to build that up?
About a year.
Oh,
Not long.
fast.
Yeah, and we're turning away horses right now. I don't have any more room
Really?
for anything. I'm sending them to Sam, Alec, and Abby. Trying to get more good farriers to come in. Everybody's full.
Yeah.
There's about no one to refer people to.
It might sound proud and biased, but I'd like to think that we're amongst some of the top farriers in Middle Tennessee, just being able to keep a horse sound. Like there's a lot of people in Middle Tennessee don't care about certification and don't really care about getting any better. And the ones that do are just novice to it for now.
Yeah.
So we've gotten to the point where like all the vets know us in Middle Tennessee. They have a really bad case that they can't get. Brady Foster's really good. John Schmidt's super. He's an AW. Like there's. I'm not saying that there's not good farriers in Middle Tennessee.
No, I know what you mean, man. Yeah.
And John, he's to the point where he's got 3 kids and they're all doing other stuff than shooting horses. And he just doesn't, He's doing it for the extra cash to go to the concerts that his boy is playing at. He likes that. So I think where we are right now is a good spot in that we're needed, but we don't have to be.
Yeah.
Was it weird at first when clients would call, say they call you, Kayla, and they want you to come do them, and they send Lyle, you send Lyle out to go do them, they're like,
Yeah,
It
we
was-
fired a few folks.
Yeah, we had to get rid of
Oh,
him
really?
a lot when I came back from England because they just didn't want him to work on them or they didn't want me to work on them, and that's just not how it works. I can't schedule that way.
yeah.
Whoever shows up is going to shoot your horse, and it's going to be to this standard. It doesn't matter who's doing it.
Was it a lot of work to kind of groom the clients to be that way, or?
Not anymore. In the beginning, it was. I was kind of stressed because I had to get rid of a bunch.
Yeah.
It's not a problem now. Everybody knows the drill.
Yeah, I'd say once you got rid of those ones and picked up
That's
the new
fine.
ones,
Yep.
that's what they knew.
And the new ones came in just as quick as they left, so it really wasn't a problem.
That's where we got lucky with the amount of horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is so lucky.
Yeah.
And it is the economy of the area pretty good?
It's very good.
A lot of ours will, well, not on the books, but a lot of the horses in Middle Tennessee go do the Florida route. So they're going and staying in Wellington for 2 months,
Okay.
Ocala.
Do you guys follow them down there? Or?
No, I actually, about 2 years ago, kind of had like a middle of the summer breakdown and fired a lot of show horses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just couldn't handle it. Like the stress of the show horses. Oh, we tripped once. You need to come look at him. Or, oh, I think this nail's bothering me. Dry there. There's nothing wrong. That's just a waste of time for the way our business was ran.
Yeah.
And then they leave for winter, and now there's a gap. I have all these people that are expecting income from me, and now I don't have the horses to supplement that. Like, I'm not going to cut their check short because of my scheduling problem. So I got rid of the horses that go on the Florida route and just do low level stuff in the area.
So
And that
you-
makes it easier for Lyle to travel too.
Do you guys pay, like, the guys that come and help you, do you just pay them, like, salary or,
They
like,
get
a day wage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
It's kind of equivalent to their skill level, too.
Yeah,
Okay.
as they get certified, big journeyman.
And then it bumps up. And it doesn't matter, like, say we have 10 horses or 30 horses
Right,
today.
doesn't matter. If it's a long day and I feel bad, I do give them more money. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it is always a thing that, like, it's not too common, right? Like, there's no, like, playbook of how to pay
no,
apprentices or how to have a multi-farrier practice at all. Yeah, it's completely...
Well, it's hard because cost of living is so high nowadays, and everybody wants to, expect to be paid a lot of money, but it's like, well, we can't really pay you that much because you're not worth it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard thing.
super hard. So we got the next contest coming up. You kind of have to go to that one, huh, to be
Yeah.
into
Can't skimp now.
Yeah. Do you have any, like, turn the table a little bit here. Do you have any questions for Gavin and I on the list?
Ooh, let's see.
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, so the fuller, I've made a few fullers like yours. The last one I put in Greensboro, I held it up next to yours, and it was just a little bit bigger, but it was. So I feel good about it, but at the same time, I haven't made one out of that kind of steel, and I don't have a system for it yet. So
Oh, like of making it.
yeah, like I didn't really.
We got about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I got a lot of. I mean, the salmon sideweight, it was a little bit of a pain, but I got it figured out for the most part. I just got to condense the heats on it, and then
It's one of those things like, man, you can tinker with that shoe
yeah,
forever.
and it
Like, it's like
it never
you
seems big enough either when you're making it.
it never seems big enough, but it's like I was telling a guy the other day, it seems like sometimes you get that medial drawn out and you're like, that is way too long. Way too long.
I
And then
always
you
feel
turn
like
it and
short.
it's like shorter.
Uh-huh.
Like you don't have enough to get all the way around that thing. Like,
And I obviously haven't made the draft shoe yet. That pony roaster is not fun.
oh, the Frenchie.
I mean, yeah,
The little
the
pony
French
Frenchie.
one.
Little Frenchie.
That one was kind of cool. That was the shoe in the size that Gavin made
Yeah.
for
Oh,
Spruce.
Spruce, yeah.
Boy.
Wow.
That was the first time I made one out of 3/8 that day.
That's why, like, it was just kind of cool. It was like we were trying to figure out some more shoes, and I was like, dude, you should probably put the Tony shoe on there.
Yeah.
Because it was, Troy was striking for him, and I just showed up that day, and Gavin had his piece cut on there, and I was like, dude, is that what you're using? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, this is not going to work out. I'm like, dude, it's 10-11 to the 3/8. I'm like, I don't even think you could just turn that and put it on the horse. Like, how the hell are you going to put a French hind on
Yeah.
it? dude, got on there and it looked pretty cool. Like,
Everything we've been practicing was like either 1 1/4.
Oh, yeah.
Just like massive.
More drawing than bumping.
It had never even anticipated like a tiny little foot.
well, it's funny. Is like, here's Gavin shoeing Tony the Pony, and Lynn is next to him shoeing a freaking cob
Yeah.
with like 1.25 by 3/8, dude. I was just like, this is, dude. Lynn handled that horse pretty well. Like, she got done. Like, good, you did good.
Yeah.
Like that was, you know, the odds stacked on you right there of like that big of a dang horse.
This episode is brought to you by the World Championship Blacksmiths. Next on the docket is the Fort Worth National Championship of 2024 season. Then after that, they have the 2025 Winter Clinic that is at Wellshod in Amarillo, Texas. And that's free to all members, and that's one that you definitely don't want to miss. So check out worldchampionshipblacksmiths.com for more info. You know, if it wasn't for the World Championship Blacksmiths, we wouldn't necessarily like have this community to, you know, bring us all together and ultimately to better ourselves through our trade, you know, have a goal to strive for and, you know, something to work towards. So, but also World Championship Blacksmiths has a whole merchandise line and some tools that they sell. So you can go to their website, worldchampionshipblacksmiths.com. Use code BRAINS for 10% off anything on their website. That's not including memberships or contest fees, but by using that code, it shows that you support the show and you're proud to invest in something that, you know, is investing in you. So we appreciate you guys. Show your support. Thanks. Also on the note of the WCB, they have the Winter Classic, and Kayla wanted me to share with you that they're doing a Winter Classic warm-up judged by Dusty Franklin, and that's going to be in Tennessee at the White Nickel Ranch. So if you guys are having a team for the Winter Classic coming up, go to that contest, and that'll help warm you up and just put your team through simulated goes of what you're going to expect. So go check that out. Look up Kayla on Facebook, and she'll have details to follow.
No, hopefully that list wasn't too much. You know what I mean? We tried really hard to make
No,
it.
it's a good list. It just, for me personally, it's the tightness of all of the contests. Like,
Yeah,
I signed
gonna
up
be
and
years
paid
stacked.
for me to compete in the convention, and I backed out 2 weeks ago just because there's no way I could, especially since I'm trying to get the team, I couldn't come here, do good, and go to Fort Worth and do good.
Yeah.
Like, it was one or the other.
No, it comes down, especially it sounds like you guys are pretty aware of how much time you have in the week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really going to break down
It's-
to which one you want to do.
I think we do a lot of horses, so whenever we get done, going back home and forging is not really what I want to do all the time. I mean, it's just hard to.
Oh, no, I don't think anybody fucking wants to. Like, and people can lie all they want and be like, oh, I crave, you know, it's like, man.
It's still work.
Yeah.
And especially when you're practicing hard, your hands hurt and everything. It's like your hands hurt from the practice the night before. And so it's like to get down and shooting horses all day, and you're like, I got to go out there and break all that calloused up hand open again and just crank into it. And it's like, yeah, maybe once you're doing it, you're happy you're out there. Or it's one of those things I call like the type 2 funds where you're like, in the midst, it sucks. Like hunting to me, like pack outs, type 2 fun.
Yeah.
You're grueling. You got a bunch of weight on your back. You're gonna, like, but you get down with, you're like, oh, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should do this again.
Yep.
It's like,
Well, the worst part
It's
about
hard.
it is, like, if you're not doing that, you're not going to win.
oh, you're not even gonna do good.
Yeah.
You're not even gonna do okay. Like it's gonna be embarrassing.
Like, I every competition this year I've gone to, I felt like, well, I got pretty good practice. I feel good. And I get there. I do good in my category, but I'm still, like,
As a whole,
barely halfway. So,
it's a hard thing, and like I hope that's something that people can like realize that they haven't gone to a WCB themselves. Is I'm sure it's really easy to sit at home and see the list and be like, oh, this is where these guys got. Like, oh, okay, Lyle's halfway. So, but it's like it is so hard to be halfway. Even.
absolutely.
Like you're aware of how much practice you put in to be halfway.
Mm-hmm. And what's crazy is to think of the guys like Troy and Carl and all of them. How much are they practicing? I honestly don't know. And
A lot.
but they're winning every single time, so you have to assume that it's every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also of those guys that are doing like a lot of them have catered their horses that they're shoeing every day to be practiced as well.
Mm-hmm.
So is that something that you guys are able to work into the practice, like into your guys' horseshoe practice, where you're able to like you're nailing on handmaids all the time?
Not all the time. The volume of horses we have, we just can't.
Yeah.
But
All
if
right.
Lyle has practice shoes that are going to nail on, I'm putting them in the truck.
Yeah.
And I'll keep them in there as long as I need to, and
Yeah,
I'll
you
nail them
find
on
one.
something.
And I wonder if that's something that maybe in the future you guys push into, like more of the English system. Obviously, you being on exchange and stuff like that.
Yep.
That is a very common thing for the apprentices to start every single day
Making shoes.
making concave,
Yep.
turning concave, and they got a pile sitting there to go shoe the horses with.
Yep.
And that is something that we actually were talking with Juan yesterday. We did a podcast with Juan, and Juan is saying that was the big turning point in his own horseshoeing was when he started actually nailing on all of his handmade shoes.
Yeah.
Because it is a very, and they got to go together.
Absolutely.
I do think that's one of the things like why Troy is probably Troy's shoeing a horse. Troy's shoeing a horse like it's a competition.
Yeah.
Yep.
That horse is going to be.
I would say that I've adapted definitely the trimming aspect. Every foot I trim,
I was going to say that's going to have to be a huge
competition.
benefit of you guys having so many horses. It's just
trimming.
flat,
Yep.
flat and good knife work, man. Is
Practice
Hard.
every single foot. I look at it 3 times before I say I'm done.
Yeah.
And by the 3rd time, if it's not flat, I usually get another rasp. But I know that I've got to change something, or I've got to look at it differently.
Well, and then we have our shoe fit, clip fit, nailing. A lot of it all needs to be above standard when we're shoeing.
Yeah.
And that's what we expect, even if it's a keg shoe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
needs to
well,
be.
nice.
It was me and Kayla butted heads about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. She didn't get her clips burned in at a few stops, and I was like, hey. And we butted heads, but that was good. That's where we excel, I think, because we both know what the standard is.
Keeping each other.
She'll even say it to me like, you fit that foot horribly. Like,
A little bit meaner than that, but yeah.
Oh man, no, it's underestimated to have a market that's able to call you out on your shit sometimes. It's like
Yeah.
my best critic is my wife.
yeah.
Like I used to tell her all the time that I would come in with a tool and I'd show her and she'd be like, "So are you done?"
Yeah.
Or I'm like, "No, I'm not done with that."
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's funny how like it's certain things that we'll end up slacking on. Like for me, it's my nail line. Like
Yeah.
it's trash.
Higher?
Yeah, you're in the old nail holes. Can you not get any better ones? I guess not. Go ahead.
Even on the like we're on the TV, I'm like, I don't care what else that's like, but I need some time to nail because I suck at it. Just let me be over there nailing for a while. So I can like take some time here. It's hard. So do you guys have any future plans of changing the business at all coming up or
Yeah, we're going to actually change it just a little bit. So we're trying to buy a new farm right now. We're in the middle of all that. If it goes through like we're planning on, when we sell our place now, the equity will pay off all our debt. So we're going to drop the number of horses some so I can do some more traveling. I can start working on the higher exams.
Yeah.
Lyle can do what he wants. We can spend more time foraging during the week.
If I make, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
If I make the Cat 2 team, like that's one of the biggest concerns I have right now is there's going to be 3 other guys counting on me to,
they will be?
yeah, like you got it. Hey, we're doing a practice this week. Oh, I can't. I got
I do
this.
like.
That doesn't
Yeah.
work. So we have that in our minds that we need to make some changes for next year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that don't take that into account when they say they want to get on a team.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's half the battle, man. Is getting on it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're on it, now you got to keep up your part of the bargain.
We've both been on teams before, and that's always been the hardest thing is
Yeah.
getting the practice done. Like
Yeah.
you get there and you've had one practice, but it was one practice on a tool in Fuller. Well, you still got 3 other classes that you got to do.
It's got to be a 2-day practice, like almost, to make a good team practice for the weekend. It's almost got to be 2 days so you can kill yourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Kayla, how did you find out about like the culture exchange? Like what did you think about that experience once you actually got over there?
So I found out about it from my mentor, John. He's the one that pushed me to do everything I did. He signed me up for my first contest, told me I was going. Didn't really want to. And I went there and I won. So then I kind of got the bug there.
Yeah.
And then being a journeyman was very important to him. He asked me what my goals were. I was like, well, maybe in 5 years. And he's like, why not right now? He pushed me, got the journeyman. He's like, well, now you need to go on the exchange. See, that's where he went and got his AW, so it's very important to him.
okay.
So So then I thought now was a good time in 2019. You know, I didn't really have a full book of horses. Just got the journeyman. I was forging quite a bit. So I applied, and that's just kind of how it went.
That's awesome.
Had you ever been like out of the country?
I've never been out of the country. I didn't even have my passport when I had the interview.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Who did you end up staying with over there?
I stayed with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
I flew in and I stayed with Rory Robb, Lewis Balfour, Jim Balfour. I worked with them in Scotland. Katrina, that is, she's part of the Balfour family. I worked with her some. And then I just worked my way from Scotland to the bottom of England. David Smith is probably the most memorable.
Really?
I was terrified to go work for him. I really didn't want to. I asked Hugh if I could go with someone else. He said, no, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Why were you so scared to work
He
with him?
just, always seeing him out and about, he just always had this very serious look. He seemed very scary, unapproachable.
Really?
And
Did it turn out not to be that
it
way?
turned out to be great. He
Yeah.
worked me really hard. Like, I did a lot of horses for him. He worked the business kind of like how I do.
Yeah.
Very busy,
Yeah.
very time efficient.
Let's say it sounds like the exchange for you was a very,
It was good.
yeah, you came home and almost put the same business together.
I did. I adopted a lot of what they do.
Yeah.
They do a lot of horses.
They
And
do a
they
lot
do.
of horses and they run a lot of people.
They do. Yep.
Yeah.
And just seeing how efficiently they ran things, it changed everything for me.
Yep.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. You came home, bought some cob horses, and got some apprentices.
Like, they got it figured out over there.
Your clients bring you tea.
I wish they did. I did complain when I took it.
Yeah.
Where's my tea?
I still have been trying to lay hands on clients every
Yeah.
week. I'm like, you know, in England, you don't even give me water here.
The problem is it's not good tea here. Like they have the
okay
best
with
tea,
some Folgers, man.
right?
Anything. Well, we're getting into 10 o'clock and the trade show's happening, so we better start wrapping this thing up so we can get you guys back to your deal.
Cool.
What Gavin asked his whole
Yeah, we got the
finisher.
the Mount Rushmore. So basically, it's 4 people that you guys hold in like a high regard that have helped push you to where you are today. Could be horseshoeing related or non-horseshoeing related as well. You know, people.
You want to go first?
I don't care.
If you guys want, you can either just do 2 and 2 each or whatever, or 4 and 4 each.
Sometimes it's hard for people to come up with all 4. Sometimes people come up with 20.
I could probably come up with 20. There's 2 that really stick out. Of course, it's John Schmidt. He helped me become who I am. For forging, anatomy, people skills, everything.
Yeah.
So he's a good mentor, good friend. So he's very important. And then, of course, Dusty Franklin.
Yeah.
Dusty's been great. I wouldn't have passed my journeyman without him.
Nice.
Just seeing feet, left and rights, fitting feet, explaining things so I understand it, even if it takes 10 times in 10 different ways. So those 2 are very important for me in my career.
Yeah.
Good one.
Definitely my granddad. My granddad's gotten me in so many aspects of life. Like the shoeing part of it for sure. Like he taught me more than anybody, and I think he probably that I know of is one of the better horsemen than anybody I know. Like he understands horses more than anybody. And then of course life things. Like I grew up without a dad, so he was my dad basically. Yeah. He was like there in everything. So
Awesome.
he is definitely probably number 1. And then let's see. I got it's a friend. He's basically like another dad to me. His name's Fred Egerton. He kind of, I went over there. I more or less my junior and senior year, I lived at his house more than my mom's house. Like I was over there. We hunted a lot. And he ran a taxidermy shop, so I've kind of helped him in the taxidermy shop. And then as far as he's a Christian. And he's taught me a lot about life too. So he was a lot like a father figure as well. And then, yeah, I have to say my mom too.
Yeah.
She was mom and dad. So
Yeah.
she's
Hardworking lady.
she's cool. She raised 3 of us by herself. Like it was,
That's
Full-time job.
yeah.
What are you guys going to do? Do you
But
guys
I have to
plans?
add a number 3 in there.
Yeah.
Adam Farr.
Yeah.
He's number 3.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
He would be mad if I didn't add him in there.
It's really funny because when I was hosting a contest, I had people lined up I wanted to ask. And somebody had something come up, the other person couldn't do it. I was like, well, let's ask Adam. So it's kind of a joke that he's number 3.
That's
Yeah. He has, but yeah, I wouldn't.
Oh, you're a great guy, man.
Yeah, he's
Good
and he's there for
friend.
everybody. Like he is a cool dude.
No matter
need
how
something-
busy he is, he's there.
Yeah. If you ever look at him, he looks like he's in shambles and he hasn't got. But he's still every moment he is there to help everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't know how or why he decided to take on the AFA.
Yeah.
Like that's a big step,
a big bite.
and I know what's going on with him, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Might as well. He's
Damn.
Just
a
that
cool
guy.
Yeah, he's a go-to for sure.
Why not me?
Do you guys have like plans to have children down the line?
No.
Got enough dogs and horses,
Yep.
man.
Right.
Also, I was wondering if like you guys had kids, you would like.
I
them up.
really enjoy my career, and I don't want to take the time off to have a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe adopt at some point or do like something
blame
like
you.
that.
We got to have nothing else to do. We got to be
Buy
bored.
another horse.
Yeah. I'm so busy.
People don't look at you weird if you sell them off or shoot.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's not allowed.
You can't go to jail for that.
It's real. Different lines. Well, thank you guys for taking some
Thank you.
time with us through the busy event. Sitting down having a talk with us.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Good.
Thanks for everybody listening.
Thank
See you
you.
on the next one.
Yeah.
So we're here at the AFA Marketplace again today and going around doing quick little interviews with some of our vendors. Today we got Aaron with Rusty Brown Jewelry. Aaron, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
Well, I'm Erin Bayan, and I purchased Rusty Brown Jewelry about 5 years ago. And we are all designed by farriers and made by retired Marines.
Really? So everything's made by retired Marines in America?
Oh yeah, we buy all of our silver from American mills, and yeah, that's what we do.
That's really cool. What is one of your biggest goals of coming to the marketplace?
Just to see the people that have made me. I've been in this industry for about 20 years, and I appreciate every single person. I've been in all different facets, and every time I've ever needed to sell a new product, these guys have just helped me get it in all over the world. So.
Do you have anything new coming out in the next year that you're really excited about?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff in the works. We've got a lot of new guys that are offering to up some of their designs because the farriers have. I've got Tom Willoughby and Craig Turnka and Mark Milster. How do you say it?
Milster.
He's made me some stuff, and I've got these things to put out to market for people to see. And there's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
Our guys have a lot of talent.
That's awesome.
Jennifer Horn's going to make me a buckle. So we're going to start selling that too. Yeah.
Awesome. I love Jennifer.
Oh, Jim Keith. I've got some of his stuff too. See, we got a lot of stuff coming in.
That's really cool. That's cool that you're including the farrier business into your
Oh,
Your
God,
designs.
yeah. We wouldn't be here without them.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time with us today, Aaron. Hey, everybody. We're here at the AFA Marketplace, and we're here with John and Yukon Forge. John, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been a horseshoer for a long time. I've been a competitor, grew up in the AFA, became a tool maker just because I couldn't afford tools. And over the years, it's just grown. This year, we've added a bunch of hammers and driving hammers, and we've just really expanded the line. And, we're just trying to be aggressive as we can. So these tools are for the working horseshoer, whether it be a competitor or just the everyday guy or just the whole range of people. But they're definitely for the working horseshoer. And we put a lot of pride and effort, made in the USA right here in Colorado. And, man, we're just trying to kill it as much as we can.
Awesome. What was your biggest goal to come into the marketplace?
So my biggest goal coming to the marketplace is bring back the Edward Martin hammer, right? So remember, we did the whole Edward Martin thing.
Oh, yeah.
So we got it out. So this is the debut of the hammer. We've got the Yukon thing on this side, but we got Edward's stamp on this side.
The Thistle.
Yep. So this is commemorate the effort that Edward Martin and Jim Port put into this hammer. It's back on the market. It fills a really good niche. It is a great hammer, and I'm so proud to have this out, and I hope Jim's happy. I'm excited about it, and we sold a ton of them on the pre-sale, and then they're really happy here. They've done great. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Do you have any products that are coming out within the next year that you're really
Yes.
excited about?
Yeah, man, we're on fire. So I've got a push gouge that it spins. So the tip can have a pin come out and it'll spin. That's going to come out. We've got another, it's called a abscess knife, and that's coming out. And then we're working on a whole different line for the knives. So we're trying to automate the knives a little bit more so we can bring the price point down a little bit and not so much hands-on. So, but it still have that hand-on type of feel. Yeah. And we haven't even started finishing up with the hammers. So the next hammer we're going to come out is one of those basically offset hammer, and so more of the English style, some like stuff that the handmaids that you do. So we want to make a production hammer that's like that. So that's the next one coming out. So yeah, I got too many ideas. Like
exciting things on the horizon, you guys. Just keep on watching. Thanks for taking some time, John.
Cool, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
It's going to be epic. We're going to have a great contest, the best contest anybody's.
Okay, everybody. We're here with this group of hooligans, and they're coming up with the Colorado Classic, and they kind of want to just get a little bit of word out about it.
I'm pretty shy, but on the most part, we got Crimley, Colorado, one of the best venues. It's an old hockey arena, flat, perfect, out of the sun. You take your family, and your kids aren't going to get molested or stolen or anything. It's going to be a great contest. Best contest they ever had. Not anything to do with China or anything like that.
So the Crimley's the warm-up for your deal.
Chris Madrid, yeah, but I'm saying Chris Madrid is judging Crimley,
Yes.
and they're going to have the shoes from Calgary. Calgary is their 50th anniversary, so there's going to be big money, big time, big things. And so what a better place to go and get a free clinic at Crimley, because there's going to be a lot of top dogs there. Watching them is going to be nothing but good for you and your business.
So basically, it's the warm-up for the Spruce Meadows World Show. So we're going to be able to have all the open guys compete and get information from Chris Madrid, who's going to teach you guys how to make those shoes right before the Spruce. So if you want to win, come to Colorado Classic and you'll be able to do that. But on the other part of that is that we have a bunch of journeymen for the student division to help out that evening after the clinic to do one-on-ones. And we have tons and tons of swag and rafts and nails and shoes to give out to the students for prizes.
Awesome.
So it's really focused on both parts.
Yeah, sounds like a great event and a very cool place, it sounds like. Awesome.
Yeah, it's high elevation. Takes one beer, you get the effect of 3, so it's cheaper that way. It's like, it just keeps getting better. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
So
operators are standing by. We have operators right now.
Yep, right here, here.
Yeah. We got Seth.
I'm Seth Holstein. I'm your contact. Probably the best place to find information is on our Facebook page, RMFA Colorado Classic on Facebook. We'll have the shoe list out. Registration is live. We'll have those links on Facebook for you.
So it's going to be the third week in July. So it's 17th to the 19th in July. And come to Colorado. It's cool.
Awesome. Sounds like something that people should be at. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're here at the AFA Marketplace, and we got Shannon with us with Farrier Box. She's one of our sponsors of our podcast. Shannon, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
So my name is Shannon Dutterding, and I started Farrier Box about 4 years ago during COVID, oddly. And I just seen a bunch of subscription boxes. It was a big boom at that time. So I called Bodie and Rachel and said, hey, what do you think about a subscription box for horseshoers? And they thought it was a good idea. And so we kind of launched it and went with it.
It's been really cool. It's kind of the first of its kind for our industry.
That's right.
So what was your biggest goal of coming to the marketplace?
Just to get word out and find some new subscribers, and also talk to the manufacturers about the opportunity to kind of launch products by putting them in the boxes and getting them into the hands of farriers all across the United States.
Yeah. Is there anything that you got coming up this next year that you're really excited about?
I am really excited about the November box. It is going to be a big bang for your buck. If you have subscribed and are going to get the November box, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised when it arrives.
Awesome. Well, everybody is a subscriber. You got something looking forward to. And if you're not a subscriber, get on the train and get yourself on the next box. Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks, guys.